I'm, I'm Jason Gibson, CCO at Acme. Innovation Insights is our monthly webinar series highlighting the people, ideas, and partnerships driving advances in composites and manufacturing across the U.S. As part of the Manufacturing USA Network, Acme leads national efforts to scale new materials, develop sustainable processes, and strengthen U.S. manufacturing competitiveness. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to mention that if you have any questions during our presentation, please enter them into the Q&A section, and we'll ask them to our presenters at the end of each section. At Acme, our mission is to convene, connect, and catalyze. We convene the composites community to share ideas and opportunities, connect industry, academia, and national labs, and catalyze real progress through collaboration and commercialization. Today's Innovation Insights reflects that mission, highlighting new ideas, technologies, and applications driving the future of composites. For those new to IACME, we accelerate composite innovation to strengthen U.S. manufacturing and workforce competitiveness through co-funded projects, access to world-class facilities, and a powerful national network. If you're listening today and you're not currently an IACME member, we encourage you to consider the value of joining. When you become an IACME member, you gain more than affiliation. You join a national network accelerating innovation in composites. IACME gives you a platform to engage, contribute, and make an impact. We'd be excited to welcome you into our community. So please visit our website and reach out to us by filling out the online form. Now, if this is your first time attending, we encourage you to explore past episodes that are available on our website. Since its launch, Innovation Insights has convened members and partners from across the composites ecosystem to share practical applications, emerging technologies, and lessons learned from active R&D and commercialization efforts. This series is designed to keep you current on industry trends while creating direct access to the people and ideas shaping the next generation of composite materials and manufacturing technologies. And today is a good example of that. So let me introduce our speakers for today. Today's Innovation Insights brings together three presenters offering insights that are highly valuable to the IACME membership, spanning materials, global manufacturing engagement, and collaborative industry strategy. Collectively, the perspectives provide practical takeaways for manufacturers, researchers, and partners looking to strengthen competitiveness, expand global reach, and accelerate impact across the composites and advanced manufacturing community. So we'll begin today with Ashley Duncan, Advanced Composite Sales Manager at Chomarat North America, who brings more than 3 decades of experience across engineering, program management, and technical sales in the composites industry. Ashley has worked closely with OEMs and fabricators to translate material capabilities into manufacturable solutions. She's going to present their C-PLY technology, discussing how engineered non-crimped fabrics and precise fiber architectures can support improved structural performance, manufacturing efficiency, and next-generation composite applications. Next, Molly Hope, Global Advanced Manufacturing Team Leader with the U.S. Department of Commerce, will share an overview of programs, tools, and resources available to support manufacturers operating in global markets. Molly leads a team of more than 200 trade professionals located across the United States and in U.S. embassies worldwide, and her presentation will highlight key initiatives, events, and strategic connections designed to help U.S. manufacturers grow, export, and compete internationally. And then finally, we'll close with Margaret Slattery, Senior Communications Manager at Acme. She'll provide a preview of Acme's 2026 members meeting. For the past 25 plus years, Margaret has worked as a content creator and writer in nearly every aspect of media, TV, print, and online. Margaret brings a diverse storytelling background in television production as a producer for CBS, Discovery Channel, TLC, Food Network, Animal Planet, and HGTV. Margaret will highlight the theme for next month's members meeting, and she'll share how the event will showcase innovation, workforce development, and cross-sector collaboration shaping the future of composites and advanced manufacturing. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Ashley. So Ashley, I'm going to stop sharing, and you can go ahead and share your screen. You're also on mute.
Okay, how's that?
There we go. We could see you and hear you. Thank you.
Okay, so you see my screen. Thank you for the introduction, Jason. We're pleased to be here today. So, while Chomarat offers an extensive portfolio of technical textiles, I'm going to specifically focus on C-PLY, and it's titled Where Precision Meets Performance in Composite Design. So, nope. So let's see, let me advance this a little bit. Before I get started, I want to provide just a brief introduction to Chomarat. We are a fifth generation family owned company founded in 1898. That means we've been manufacturing textiles for over 125 years. If there's a technology involving textiles, chances are we've worked with it at some point in our history. Today, our business is organized around four strategic divisions. It's composite reinforcements, construction materials, coatings and films, and even garment manufacturing. We're operating 9 industrial sites across 4 countries, including France, the United States, Tunisia, and China, encompassing a broad range of manufacturing technologies involving textiles. And globally, Chomarat employs approximately 1,100 people. This slide shows our global manufacturing footprint. In North America, we produce C-PLY and other advanced composite reinforcements in Anderson, South Carolina, which is just outside of Greenville. And so now I'm going to move on to C-PLY. Given the limited time that we have here today, there's far too much information on C-PLY to cover in 15 minutes. So rather than trying to cover everything, I'm going to focus on 2 key value propositions that may be relevant to your business. Using C-PLY for optimizing laminate design and performance and improving layup and manufacturing efficiencies. So what exactly is C-PLY? C-PLY is our family of multi-axial, non-crimp carbon fabrics. Each ply behaves essentially like a unidirectional layer in terms of performance. Multiple plies can then be assembled and stitched together in optimized orientations to position the fiber exactly where it's needed structurally. Shallow angles can be incorporated, and I'll discuss this in more detail later. And then just the last point is our aerial weight ranges from 50 GSM to 300 GSM, that's grams per square meter per ply. So I have a short video that I want to show of our manufacturing process, but before I start the video, I want to explain some of the images that are on this slide. I also want to point out, traditionally, non-crimp fabrics are typically constructed from bundles of fiber, where in contrast, C-PLY is manufactured using dry spread unidirectional tapes. So in the upper image, in the top left, you can see this is our dry spreading line. So this image shows where carbon fiber tow bundles are spread into a thin, flat, unidirectional tape. And then the center image, this shows the completed tape, which is then transferred to the multi-axial line, or max 5, where the tapes are positioned into precise orientations. This could be plus or minus 45, 0, 90, and then also 30-degree shallow angles. So in this video, you're going to see where these tapes are in line and stacked. The tape is stacked and then stitched together to create the finished multi-axial fabric architecture. So let me start this. So you can see the fibers are placed across the tape is dispensing the fibers across the line. So these are going to be stitched together once they reach a certain position in the line. Our machine's 50 inches wide, or I'm sorry, it's 100 inches wide. So we can produce 100-inch wide fabrics. And then I'll also note that veils can be incorporated in line or other fabrics to create hybrid fabrics. So that's it. Let me fast forward. Okay. So One of the key advantages of this technology is the ability to spread heavy tows to achieve targeted aerial weights at a more affordable cost. For example, spreading heavy tows down to approximately 100 GSM per ply enables lightweight, cost-effective carbon NCF solutions for large volume and cost-sensitive applications that could include automotive structures, sporting goods, defense, aerospace, marine, and others. I like this slide. It's a great illustration of ply aerial weight capabilities relative to fiber tow selection. Starting with a 12K fiber, for example, after spreading these fibers to create a tape, your ideal aerial weight range can be from 50 GSM to 200 GSM per ply. So in contrast, woven 200 GSM fabrics use 3K fiber, which can be more expensive compared to heavier tow fibers. For example, our C-PLY thin ply fabrics are 100 to 150 GSM fabrics that are made with a 12K fiber. And then moving along, 24K and 50K and other heavy tow fibers can be used as well to create heavier ply and heavier aerial weight fabrics. These can be used in bulking applications for tooling or marine structures, and there's all kinds of possibilities. And last, I just want to note that we're not limited to standard modulus fiber either. Okay, this is another visual slide. It captures the wide range of fabric construction possibilities using C-ply. Biaxials, triaxials, quads can all be incorporated. So quite a range compared to woven fabrics. So remember, C-ply unidirectional tapes can be positioned in the direction you need to carry the load and then stitched together in multiple plies that can reduce layup layers. This is where the true engineering comes into play with optimized laminate construction for optimized part performance and production efficiency. So now that we've covered what C-ply is, I want to discuss a couple specialty features in more detail. One is thin ply laminates, and two is incorporating shallow angles. So let's start with thin ply laminates. What do I mean by thin ply laminates? Well, compared with traditional woven fabrics or conventional NCF architectures, thin ply laminates offer several important performance advantages. These include a more homogeneous laminate structure, which helps reduce earlier microcracking and warpage, improves strength and toughness while simultaneously reducing weight, extended fatigue life, mechanical performance approaching unidirectional prepreg systems, and improved impact strength. So I've done quite a comparison, I guess comparing C-ply with traditional 3K woven fabrics in a couple times in this presentation, and not to pick on woven fabrics because we produce those too, but here's another slide that compares the mechanical performance of a C-ply thin ply laminate against a traditional 3K plain weave woven fabric. In this study, 150 GSM C-ply using a 12K T700 was used. The 3K fabric is represented by the gray bar, while C-ply is represented by the green bar. The results showed that C-ply outperformed the traditional 3K woven fabric in both tensile strength and tensile modulus, while also delivering weight reduction, 200 GSM versus 150 GSM aerial weights. So in other words, the C-ply thin ply laminate provides the best of both worlds, improved structural performance combined with lower weight. This view graph shows the X-ray pictures of laminates with thin ply on the right and thick plies on the left after 73,000 cycles of tensile fatigue. The total thickness of both laminates is 3.2 millimeters. Notice on only slight splitting on the thin ply laminate, the one on the right, around the open hole, and no delamination along the specimen outer edges or microcracking. For the thick ply laminate, which is the one on the left, there's massive delamination around the open hole and outer edges, plus microcracking along all of the plies. So in summary, these laminates made with the thin plies show resistance to both microcracking and delamination in that study. So moving along, the second C-ply specialty feature that I want to discuss in more detail is incorporating shallow angles. What do I mean about incorporating shallow angles? Well, a shallow angle provides the ability to optimize fiber in the preferred loading direction. So this is another visual slide. It depicts the value of incorporating shallow angles in the preferred part loading direction to improve fatigue performance and also reduce part weight. So in this illustration, the red arrow, let's just call it heading eastbound at the top, represents, this is the main part loading direction. This could be a spar section or a wing section, just something longitudinal. And the first laminate up in the left corner, the first laminate has fiber positioned 90 degrees compared to the main load. The fibers are not absorbing the load and microcracks can occur. And then the second laminate represents a quasi-isotropic stack. Again, not all fibers are absorbing the load. So in this series, stacks are removed to optimize fibers in the preferred load direction, but even plus or minus 45 degrees is still not quite optimized. So we have the ability to manufacture plies at 30 degrees or incorporating shallow angles in the preferred loading direction to improve part performance and reduce weight. So here's another series of test results from NIAR. This time, we're comparing 250 GSM C-ply laminates with a preferred loading direction. One laminate incorporates 45-degree angles, and the other incorporates 30-degree shallow angles in the preferred part loading direction. So the bluish turquoise bar represents the shallow angles laminate. So note there's a significant improvement in mechanical performance by incorporating shallow angles in the preferred loading direction. So by strategically positioning the fibers in the most optimum direction to carry the load, could you reduce your part laminate plies or reduce your overall part weight? So that summarizes some of the highlights about C-ply and the benefits it can provide for your composite part design. And just to recap and summarize some of the value propositions we discussed, with C-ply, there's a vast range of possibilities with fabric architecture. C-ply is designed for optimized laminate construction. Thin plies and shallow angles can be incorporated, and this in turn can provide weight savings with tougher and stronger laminates. By stitching the layers together, you have the ability to reduce the number of layup plies, which in turn can help improve your production efficiencies. So I hope you'll consider incorporating C-ply into your laminate design. So here's my contact information. If you have questions or want to discuss an application for C-ply or C-weave, which is our woven fabric line, please feel free to contact me.
Well, thanks, Ashley. That's very informative. Let me ask a couple questions of you. First off, can you work with all different types of carbon fiber, all the different manufacturers, or are you limited to which ones you can work with?
Yes, we are fiber agnostic. We can work with a variety of different fibers in our process, both with C-ply or C-weave.
Great. And it seems like this is a great engineer's tool to be able to optimize the laminate to carry the load. Are you seeing growth in areas where engineered laminates are critical, like aerospace or automotive? Like, where do you see the most growth for you guys today and in the near future?
Well, I would say there's a variety of different market segments where C-ply is being incorporated. We're seeing large growth with aerospace and defense right now. The marine industry also utilizes C-ply. in more, I guess, heavier aerial weight fabric for their applications and superstructures. And then the light weighting that I mentioned, like with the thin ply and the shallow angles, that gets more specific into aerospace applications.
Great. And if I'm a design engineer somewhere, I'm assuming you guys would be able to help me to be able to get the physical properties into whatever simulation software I'm using to design the composite laminate. Are you guys able to help that out?
We do have some capabilities, and we reference um, specifically working with some of the fiber manufacturers, referencing their mechanical properties that they publish for their fiber mechanical properties. So we do have some capabilities to help with that.
Great. Well, thanks for all that. Let's go ahead and move on to our next presenter. So if you'll stop sharing, and then Molly, if you're able to share your screen, and we can jump into your presentation.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing.
Thanks, Jason. Do you want me to go ahead and get started while we get the slides up? I can go ahead and start talking, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Well, we get the slides up. I know my colleague William is on the line and get the slides up, but yeah, thanks for having us today. Myself, Stephanie, and William, who's also sharing the slides with us today when she gets the screens figured out. We're all with the U.S. Commercial Service, which is with the U.S. government. We are under the U.S. Department of Commerce, under International Trade Administration, and we are the U.S. Commercial Service. So our mission is to create jobs in the U.S. by helping U.S. companies expand globally and sell internationally. We do focus on, I am the manufacturing team, and of course this industry, Composites, falls under the manufacturing team. We cover all things from automation to AI to industrial machinery, additive manufacturing, supply chain tech, everything you can imagine under manufacturing. And we also have a manufacturing monthly newsletter that you can sign up for on our website, where you can go ahead and learn about export opportunities or international business develop opportunities. And just so you know how we are focused, as I said, we are the U.S. government. We're in over 100 U.S. cities. So if you do not know your local contact in your city, please let us know and we will connect you. And then we also are in the embassies and consulates around the world. So my colleague Stephanie, who will talk in a little bit, is in the U.S. Embassy in Paris. And so this is our big value add to U.S. Companies, is we have the footprint, we have boots on the ground in country, so we can help U.S. companies know the landscape, have the connections, have the advice, have the expertise, and have the knowledge. So we work a lot with U.S. companies, connecting them to international opportunities through our colleagues at the U.S. embassies and consulates. And we are in about 80 different countries. Yeah, and you can go ahead and send the next slide, William. I was kind of going over, I think I mentioned the subsectors and manufacturing. And just to let you know, the U.S. Commercial Service does cover all services, but since we are focused on this subsector right now, we're talking about that. And we also do, especially within the last 2 years, we've developed a supply chain hub, which is also on the website to help with supplier scouting, to help map out supply chain. I know there's been, a lot of activity in the supply chain space. So we're here to help. Just kind of thinking overall, if you think about the U.S. Commercial Service, we are your federal resource for any international business development assistance. You can go to the next slide, William, and I'll tell you a little bit, if you do not know, World Trade Month is May, and we focus on the first week of May as Export Week, but of course it goes throughout the session of May, and we do a lot of education and webinars and seminars, not only in May throughout the year, but we do focus on May, so if there's any kind of tradecraft or industry focused opportunities, we're there. Another thing the U.S. Commercial Service does is trade shows. So we do partner with relevant trade shows for the industry sector. For example, Automate is coming up in next month in Chicago. And so we work with the trade show organizer, and our colleagues like Stephanie at the embassies will bring foreign buyer delegations to the trade show. And then our role is to connect US companies with those opportunities that our colleagues bring with the foreign buyer delegation trade shows. Just to touch on a few other events, we have Manufacturing Month, which is a big one in October. We'll do another big push for some educational webinars and in-person events to help people within the space on their international business. Formnext is one we have coming up in November, which is an additive manufacturer one. Expo Manufactura is in Mexico, our biggest trading partner for manufacturing. Hanover Messe just happened, and of course JEC World just happened, which I'm sure a lot of people on this call know about that and we're possibly there. And we're very fortunate to have our expert Stephanie Pencol, who is at the U.S. Embassy in Paris, an expert and very knowledgeable in this space. And so I'd like to hand it over to her to give us an overview of that. And you can see there is the link to our website, which has all the items I talked about. All right, Stephanie, over to you.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Very nice to be here today. Thank you to the IACME team for inviting us. It's a real pleasure. So my name is Stephanie, and I've been working with the U.S. Commercial Service at the U.S. Embassy in Paris, France, for the last 30 years, covering advanced manufacturing and transportation. So advanced materials and composite in particular are very important to us. North America represents about 22% of the global composite volume and approximately 30% of the value, which highlights the strengths of the industry in this region. And we are very fortunate to have JEC World in Paris every year, and we have been partnering with the show organizer for over 25 years. So today, I would, like to briefly cover three things: why JEC World is such an important platform for international growth in the composite industry, how we support US exhibitors at JEC World, and to do a quick, overview of the European composite market, so that you understand why it's a strategic market for you. So next slide, please, Lilian. So why JEC World matters? Oh, no, sorry, I didn't see that. So the previous one then. Thank you. So JEC World is the largest composite trade show in the world. Every year, it brings together more than 1,400 exhibitors from 50 countries, 27 national pavilions, and around 45,000 visitors from 99 countries. So I know there's quite a lot of IACME members going to the show, but for those of you who are more familiar with CEMPI or CAMIX in the States, you can see that the JEC World Show is a very, very large platform. Europe is the most represented region, with Germany, France, Italy, and other major countries leading participation. Asia follow as the second largest region, and North America also has a strong presence. In terms of visitors, Europe is also the main source market, and the key visitors region are Europe, the United States, and Asia, including China, Japan, and Korea. And believe it or not, many US companies meet at JEC World to do business with each other. That's fun. What you find at the show, JEC Worlds cover the entire composite value chain. This includes raw materials, of course, and processing equipment and manufacturing technology, tooling, automation, and testing solution, and finished parts, of course, across key industries such as aerospace, automotive, marine, construction, consumer goods, renewable energy. So why attend? Even if you're just a visitor, JEC will give you a very strong overview of market solutions, competitors, and innovation trends. And if you exhibit, of course, it's also a valuable reality check on the market interest, the customer profile, and business potential for your product in Europe. Next slide, please, Lilian. So, as many, you probably know, of course, the show is highly competitive. Okay, it's a big show, and to help US companies stand out, we co-organize the US pavilion with the show organizer. We also work closely with our European network, including usually, the main countries are Germany, Italy, Spain, Turkey, Czech Republic, and Poland. And we work together to promote US exhibitors and increase their visibility at the show. And in addition, we offer free pre-show market counseling sessions. These are on-one discussion held before the show to understand your products, technology, and business objective. And from there, we provide market insights and entry strategy, business matchmaking, and meeting support, and of course, on-site assistance during the event. And why we are trying to support that way? Because entering Europe requires more than just attending a trade show. And company needs to consider internal resources, export experience, and long-term strategy. So in many cases, success also depends on having local partners, such as distributors and agents. So this is why, networking is very important. Our role is to help you define the right market entry approach for Europe. Next slide, please. Thank you. So let's look at few figures on the European composite market. So, all the data compiled here for you comes from, experts. So the data come from 3 different sources. Czech GEC sources, they do market studies from the EUSIA, which is the European Composite Association, and from the AVK, German Composite Association. And those data refer to materials used in composite parts production. So even though the European composite, composite production declined slightly in 2024, Europe remains a strategic market. It represents about 80% of the global volume and around 25% of global value. So these reflect Europe's focus on higher value application. In other words, Europe produces less volume, but a higher value mixed. And so, of course, the market context is the same as the rest of the world. The European composite industry continue to face several challenges, like high energy and raw material cost and logistical constraints, and of course, geopolitical uncertainty. But that said, Europe appears to be recovering in some cases more slowly than other regions. And this is mainly due to weakness in 2 key composite end-use sectors, which are automotive, because the automotive production is still below pre-COVID levels, and the pressure in the construction sector. Despite this, the medium-term outlook remains positive because it's driven by all the innovation in electromobility, lightweight structures, and advanced industrial application. Also important to note that the European market is highly fragmented. Around 80 to 90% of production is concentrated among 10 to 20% of companies. So the sector is well structured through the European Composite Industry Association, EUSIA, that I just mentioned, representing around 10,000 companies and 150,000 employees. Also, the key point is that Europe is not a single market. Otherwise, it will be too easy. Each country has its own industrial stress and value chain, which we will now cover in the next slide. So this slide focuses on the thermoset composite segment only. It comes from the German association AVK. It doesn't include the thermoset segment. Germany, Southern Europe, and Eastern Europe account altogether for around 2/3 of the European market. These regions are supported by strong supply chain, serving key industry sectors like transportation, wind energy, construction, and electronics. Germany is the #1 market, and it remains the largest market, although it is more exposed to automotive cycle and energy costs, but still. France shows similar pressure in traditional application. So Southern Europe has been more resilient, supported by construction and competitive manufacturing, and Eastern Europe continues to serve as a key production base for Western European OEMs. So for US exporter, there's regional differences are quite important. Northern and Western Europe offer opportunities in advanced material, automation, recycling, and sustainability technology, but at the same time, they require higher compliance and certification, whereas Southern and Eastern European countries can offer easier entry points for equipment and process technology that improve productivity and reduce cost. So understanding where your solution fit best is a key part of building an effective market entry strategy. As far as the application are concerned, in Europe, transportation is the largest segment, close to 50% of demands, and it includes automotive, aerospace, commercial vehicle, and public transport. The continued growth of electric vehicle and the development of hydrogen power trucks are expected to create additional demand for lightweight composite materials. And in the aerospace industry, I'm sure you heard about it, everybody is talking about the next generation of single-aisle aircraft. So we will see, but it's supposed to, to boost, more innovation for materials and manufacturing process. Electronics and construction follow as well. It's also the next largest sector. And finally, niche, but very active in Europe, the sport and leisure sector, including marine and sporting goods. Can we go to the next slide, please, Lilia? Thank you. Let's have a quick look at the material landscape in Europe. So glass fiber reinforced plastic dominate Europe, represented over 95% of volume. Carbon fiber and natural fiber composite remain smaller in volume, but strategically important due to lightweighting and sustainability. Thermoplastic are gaining momentum. They are very well aligned with automated and high volume manufacturing and are increasingly used in transportation and electronics. Thermosets remain essential in construction, of course, marine and energy, but they are more exposed to structural pressure due to labor intensity and longer processing cycles. And a key driver for Europe is, of course, the regulation. And regulation is reinforcing this shift. OEMs are increasingly focusing on recyclability, process control, environmental transparency, and thermoplastics currently have a stronger position in meeting this requirement at scale. So overall, the message is quite clear. Growth opportunity in Europe are increasingly concentrated in thermoplastics, hybrid materials, automation enabled processes, and sustainability-driven solutions across both material systems. Can we go to the next slide, please, Ilya? Thank you. Quickly, manufacturing processes and technologies. So, if we want to highlight how the different manufacturing processes segments are evolving in Europe. As you can see, SMC and BMC remain the largest segment, also under pressure from automotive and construction. Non-crimped fabrics continue to decline, mainly due to challenging in the wind energy supply chain. Open mold processes have declined more sharply due to regulatory pressure and labor cost and weaker demand. Resin transfer molding is also declining in line with the broader market. And finally, continuous processes are more stable, but still constrained by weak construction activity. Looking at, not quite Lilian, but very close. Looking at the broader picture, sustainability and regulation are increasingly shaping the European market. frameworks such as, I'm sure you heard about it, the eco design for sustainable product regulation and the circular economy action plan. They are pushing OEMs to reassess materials and suppliers. And so OEMs are now require a life cycle assessment and environmental transparency. So as a result, suppliers offering environmental data, recycling solution, and digital product information are becoming preferred partners in European supply chain. And that brings me to the end of my presentation with the last slide. Thank you. So, you can see a couple of, picture of the IACME team at their booth within the US pavilion at JEC World. So that was fun. I hope this overview was useful and informative, and please feel free to reach out if you have any question. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks, Stephanie and Molly. One real quick question for you, for the sake of time. If I'm somewhere in the US, a small company that wants to expand into Europe or other areas, where should I start to connect with the Department of Commerce? Who should I be reaching out to?
Molly, do you want to reply to this or me?
Yeah,
or...
sure. I know I was getting that back on, but yes, for sure. I mean, you can reach out to myself or Lillian. We do have a on our website where you can look up for you put your zip code in, it says your local contact, and that'll pop up and it'll say the name. Jason, if you want us, I can send you the link to that to send out. Okay.
Sure, that'd be great. But thank you for this. I mean, it's obvious that the Department of Commerce is a great resource for all of us to use, and hopefully a lot of our members will start doing that.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. With that, Margaret, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen, and we'll let you start presenting.
Can you hit share?
It's
No.
coming. It's just slow.
Okay, awesome. And I tried to take myself off video or put myself back on video, but it's not giving me the option in this share mode. Can you all see it yet?
Not yet,
Not
but it is
yet.
coming.
Yeah. I lost power in the middle of Ashley's, and I'm actually using a hotspot, so that might be my issue. If we don't get it going, I'll let Kim try her hand at it. Don't know.
All right, now we can see.
Oh,
Just need to put it in
okay.
presenter mode.
All right. Are we good?
Yep, just put it in presentation mode, and I think we'll be ready.
I thought I did.
There
Good
we
job,
go.
Margaret. She has been through it. No power, the internet went out and everything. So thank you, Margaret.
Looks good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So, thank you for letting me spend just a few minutes to tell everyone about members meeting. This is one of the key benefits that a lot of our members talk about, and they say that it is something that is not to be missed. So, I wanted to make sure that you all knew what was coming up and to get you excited about some of the details. So, this is our 18th members meeting. This is our 11th year, and we've convened nearly 5,000 people at our members meeting to convene, connect, and catalyze. So we're very excited about this year. We have a presenting sponsor with Colorado O-Edit and several other fabulous sponsors that are making it happen. If you are interested in being a sponsor, I'm sure that you can reach out to Kim Hooden and she can put her email in the chat. And also, while I'm talking, if you've been to a members meeting and you want to share some of the cool things that you've experienced or why you've seen benefit from the members meeting, feel free to add it there. Went to the next one. No.
And you've fallen out of presentation mode. If you wouldn't mind just
Oh
going
no.
back to presentation mode.
Let's see. Okay, we're there.
It's
Are you
thinking. There we
Oh
go.
no.
Now I can see the Embassy Suite slide. You're good.
Okay, fantastic. Sorry about all this. So we're going to be at the Embassy Suites in Denver next week. I mean, sorry, next month. And this is a fabulous location. We were there in October scoping things out. They have all of the high-end offerings that you'd expect from a hotel, including a pretty impressive custom omelet bar. So get excited about that. We do have some special rates for our members. So those end May 28th. So I'll tell you a little bit later about how to get how to register and do that, but just wanted to let you know, I give you a few visuals of where we are. We're going to be across from the convention center, and you'll see the big blue bear there, made possible with Composites, and there's a connection to our members meeting and one of our members. So I'm going to let's see if I go to the next one. We still in presentation mode? Yes.
Yep, looks good.
Okay, good. I think we're over the hurdle. So this gives you a high-level agenda of what we're looking at. Again, it's June 23rd through the 25th. We're going to kick things off on Tuesday with a tour of National Laboratory of the Rockies, Flatirons campus. We call it Comet. Then we'll come back and have 3 different working groups. Simultaneously, we'll be having our workforce partner agenda, and they will have their own meetings. On Wednesday, we're going to have some great speakers. I'm going to go into some more detail on that. And then Thursday, we'll wrap up with 2 more working groups and some more speakers. Wanted to make sure that I do point out 2 great networking opportunities. The welcome mixer on Tuesday. That's just 2 blocks down from the hotel, and the networking reception on Wednesday. So we're going to start with a tour of at NLR. That's a 307-acre state-of-the-art research facility, and you can see some of the different areas that they support research in. Again, we get to go out there in October and walk and see the different things that are going on. Very exciting, particularly one of the DOE-funded IACME projects that is happening in smart manufacturing. So you're going to get to see all that in person, and we will get you there by bus and back, so you don't have to rent a car. You don't have to think about anything with that. But this one in particular, you do need to register in advance. Can't just decide day of. It is a national lab, and we need to make sure that everyone is cleared. Also, so on working group meetings, this just gives you a few more details about the specifics of the times and when each of these are. All members are allowed to go in any and all of these working groups. So when you get to the registration page and you decide I'd like to be part of these different working groups, do let us know about that. This again is one of the great benefits that we hear from members being part of these working groups. On Tuesday, like I said, we're going to have a workforce development agenda happening simultaneously, and they've got a lot of great things planned. They do have some speakers, but this is going to be a lot of roundtable, a lot of talking about best practices and sharing some challenges and finding some solutions that each of the partners have had. This is primarily for ACE and Metal Partners. Those are 2 programs that IACME has been scaling up for a few years now, and it's really gotten to be quite large and in lots of different states and so forth. And they have several sessions that they're going to be doing. 2 that I just wanted to highlight are a panel connecting the next gen workforce and award ceremony for the top performing hubs. So if you're in workforce, you definitely want to be part of this. So on Wednesday, we have several speakers and moderators, still confirming a few. As I'm sure you all know, it can be tough to pin down these high-level speakers until right before. So we're working on it, but we're getting really close. 2 in particular I want to point out in here. Carolyn Overmeyer from Lockheed Martin. She was the chief engineer on the Orion project. I mean, I'm excited about that. I would love to hear some of the details she wants to share about that project, about how Composites played a role in it, and the future of that program. Also, I had the fortune of getting to talk with Bill Chrysler. He worked on the Big Blue Bear that you saw that's going to be right across from the Embassy Suites. This was 21 years ago, and I did get to write a fun story about the Big Blue Bear so that you can read that on our website. But he's going to be talking about how that project led for the next 2 decades advances in infrastructure and construction, particularly in working to move new materials into traditional industries like like infrastructure and construction. That is one of the toughest things that can happen, and he's going to give some insider tips on that. We also have a great panel called The Reality of AI and Smart Manufacturing. And we've got representatives from industry, from Dassault and General Motors, as well as from academia, National Laboratory, and Purdue University. So we're excited about this to really dig a little bit deeper into a subject that seems to be on everyone's lips every day, AI, and really see how that is impacting the composites industry. And then on Wednesday night, we have our networking reception at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And that is going to be really exciting. I have to say, we set a high bar every year with our networking receptions. People talk about it for years to come. So we want to pick really fun venues that are educational, that are inspirational, and give you a good space to maybe walk around and explore with someone you don't know. Someone, it's one of our best networking opportunities for sure. And it's also very close to the hotel. We'll have buses there and back, so you won't need to deal with any rental cars. We are trying to communicate our registration through lots of different ways. Hopefully, you've seen them in one way or another. Primarily, LinkedIn, we're posting about that a good bit. We've mentioned it in several newsletters by now. We'll be sending out a mailing with postcards. You'd be surprised at how many people get those postcards and go, "Oh yeah, I need to register." And of course, in some in-person events at SAMPE and Thermoplastics Conference coming up. So if you are not following us on LinkedIn, please do so. That will be the latest and greatest. So you're ready, you're excited, you want to register. What do you do now? You're going to go to iacme.org. I find it easiest on a laptop, but you can do it mobily as well. You're going to see a banner that will follow you everywhere on our website, which encourages you to register. You'll click there, you'll open up another page, and you walk through. Click the register button, and it'll give you all the steps that you need to answer all the questions. So primarily, things that you may need to know about are, am I a working group participant or am I a workforce member? And that's important because we have two somewhat different agendas. And we want to make sure that you are getting all the information that you need. So if you're a working group, you will answer that one. If you're workforce, you'll answer that one. But you also want to make sure that you keep scrolling so that you can sign up for the NLR tour. Again, we have limited seating, and you do need to go on the bus. It has to be done in advance. I believe the deadline will be sometime in June, but you want to get that taken care of this month, would be my suggestion. So that's what I have. Are there any questions? I will keep this up so that if you are a fan of QR codes and you want to go ahead and bring your phone out now and take care of that, you can certainly do that, or go to iacme.org and go from there. So does
Well,
anyone
thanks,
have any
Margaret.
questions?
I don't see any questions coming in around this, but thank you for presenting all that. That's very useful. I also just want to say, as you know, we move the members meeting every year. And so it's been a little while since we've been to Denver, and I think Denver is an exciting city, and touring of that National Lab of the Rockies is a great opportunity. So anyone out there listening, if you're on the fence, it's a great year to come and get to know Acme better and get engaged in our working groups.
Absolutely. Yes, we're very excited about it.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and we'll close out. So I have up here the rest of our innovation insights. You'll see we don't have one for next month in June because of our members meeting. But in July 20th will be our next one. We're got our presenters getting lined up for that. Every month we do this. It's not always the same third Monday of the month, but for the most part, it is the third Monday of the month, and would love to have you guys join us for that. Appreciate everyone's attendance. We look forward to hopefully seeing you at our members meeting. We look forward to helping you engage with the Department of Commerce, as well as any questions you might have on Chomarat and Ashley's presentation. We're happy to answer them. We will be sending out the slides later, assuming everyone's able to share those. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and visit us at our website at iacme.org. So thank you to all the presenters, and thank you everyone for their time.
Thanks, everyone.